As you've all known, calculators are a part of our lifestyle. So, what is this technology doing for us? Before I get started, I want all of you to do some math problems for me, but without using a calculator, and you only have a few seconds to get the answer. You can either use your head or a piece of paper and pencil. Let's start off with something simple. Ready? 9 times 6. Did you get 54? Now let's try 11 squared. Did you get 121? Okay, last one. And this one's a little bit longer. What is 2 cubed minus 4 squared plus 8 squared divided by 4? Did you get 8? Or did you get a different number, like 14? Some of us have become so dependent on calculators, we don't remember using the basic facts we learned in junior high or high school. As a math major, I have always wondered why teachers or students are so dependent on calculators and why they haven't tried to limit the usage. My purpose is to persuade all of you that we should limit our usage of calculators. I will start off by refreshing and explaining why calculators have caused us problems such as laziness, being dependent on the device, and how we have weakness our knowledge. Next, I will be telling you the solution when you do limit yourself from a calculator. Then I'll talk about the benefits you have when you don't use or have limited yourself from a calculator. Finally, I'll discuss the overall view and how we can start with ourselves. Now let's begin with the problem with calculators. The more times you use a calculator, you become more dependent, you become more lazy, you have weakened your brain knowledge. As you were doing the problem earlier, did you know that it took you a while to think about the answer and not have that urge to grab your calculator? That happens when you have become so dependent on your calculator. It becomes a part of you, and your mind goes blank when you're trying to do a math problem. You think no one's going to notice, but people do notice, and those people are your teachers. They notice when you have gone to do a simple math problem or you don't remember your basic facts. In the research article, Integrating Calculators in the Secondary Mathematics Classrooms, Teachers' Attitudes and Perspectives, made in 2010 by Andre Mawson, teachers were asked their perspective of calculators. Some thought they were an advantage, and they had their reasons why it was, while there were others that had more reasons why it wasn't an advantage. Here are some reasons mentioned in the research. When used at a young age, some students can become reliant on the calculator, not understand the basics needed for the higher level math. And another one is we produce some students who are so calculator dependent that they cannot get through daily life without it. They even use examples like tipping soap at a restaurant or making exact change. Even college students know they have become dependent on calculators. In the 2020 use of calculators in high school mathematics by Alex McDaniel, another research, they did a survey of students' opinions. One question asked, do you believe students are too dependent on calculators? About 29% answered definitely yes, which was the most out of the whole pie chart, while 5% answered definitely no, which was the lowest. Which leads to my next thing. Calculators have their limits of what they can do and can't always be used to solve math problems or any kind of problems. By practicing not using a calculator or by teachers limiting the usage, we can get a better concept or understanding of math. Say you're in a pre-calculus class and you're trying to find a limit because that was part of the lesson today. You're trying to find a limit where it doesn't exist. Most of the time, the limit doesn't pop up, or where it says it doesn't pop up in your calculator. You're going to have to do that on a piece of paper. In a 2016 article, The Common High School Tool That's Banned in College by William Payne, it talks about the limitations students have with calculators during college. It mentions the fact that calculators used in high school can affect your learning in college because you don't remember the basic facts of math, or you have become dependent on the device. The best solution I will recommend, if you, teachers, or even the people who are in charge of those state testing, starts limiting the usage of calculators during your class, during your outside, anytime. And you're probably thinking, what do you mean by STAR testing? Well, the STAR test has this calculus policy for 8th grade math, 8th grade science, algebra 1, and any, I forgot the other one, but another math test or science test. But they also have a limit who can't use it. Since most math in junior high and high school can be worked on a piece of paper, I believe calculators should be limited or even removed during those tests. It can help not only to the teachers, making them learn the basic math, but it also can help the student itself for their future whenever they have to take math courses in college. Now, let's think about the good benefits when it comes to when we don't use a calculator. There are some benefits that come with using a calculator, and those benefits are during school or even helping you save money. As mentioned before, it can benefit you when you come to a college level class. Since some professors limit or don't allow calculators, if you don't use them while you're in junior high or high school, you have the advantage since you know the basic math and you're not dependent on this device. You sometimes have to even spend calculators on yourself. If you were to look at the bookstore, or even I use Walmart as an example, they cost about $90 to $150. Now imagine a school buying calculators so they can provide for the students to use. They could spend over $1,000 plus the batteries they have to buy to keep these calculators alive. By removing or even limiting the calculators, you can save a good amount of money for the school itself and for yourself. Then you're able to continue everyday activities like knowing how to tip during a restaurant or figuring out how much a discount is. Finally, the overall vision of saying goodbye to these calculators. In order to get the benefits we want, like saving money or having the advantage during college, we have to start with ourselves. By limiting or getting rid of the usage of calculators, we have strengthened our knowledge and are not as stressed out. Imagine finally being able to look at a math problem and not freak out, and not having that urge to grab that calculator. Or if you are at a restaurant and you're trying to tip, you don't have to pull out your phone because you have that basic knowledge of how to do the percentage and all. And all these other daily activities are now easier because you don't have this device following you around, being attached to you. In conclusion, calculators have caused a negative effect on us, but trying to limit or even remove ourselves from using calculators from the solutions I provided, we could have a good and different benefits for us. Just imagine yourself being your own reliable source for math class. My purpose today was to persuade you that we should limit our usage of calculators. I hope by the end of this, I have convinced you to limit your calculator usage. It will not only benefit you out in the classroom, but also in your other daily activities.